Do you ever see a dance routine and there's one person who's not dancing in sync with the whole rest of the dancers? And the person's off to the side. They're like, I'm like, stop it. You're very distracting. Well, yeah. I'm like, you're distracting. The other version of that is when you go see your favorite rock singer and there's one drummer who's doing a little bit too much on the drums and you're focusing on the drummer, not on the singer. It's like, you're a little distracting. Well, that's what's going to be happening this coming week. You're going to see distractions from Nancy, distractions from Mitch, distractions from Steve, and distractions from Donald himself. Everyone's going to be trying to distract you and focus on them. This tonight is one of the most important Purple Power broadcasts you've ever had, in which I'm trying to guide you on not getting distracted in a hot mess express that you're going to see arrive into town this coming Monday. This is a special broadcast of Purple Power. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's a Sunday evening. It's beautiful outside. It's still clear. Dodgers are playing. It's relatively nice and pleasant, not cold, not hot. So I hope it's good where you are. Tomorrow is going to be hot, though, a hot mess express. And I'm so glad you're here because I'm going to explain how to deal with it. Go to the phone channel, subscribe. We're going to reach 300,000 subscribers around when the hot mess express arrives. So let's get to it together. Also, like this video. In this video, I've been going over the distractions that you're going to be seeing next week and why the distractions should be ignored. Then I'll be going over what's going on with Nancy and Mitch and the GOP and Jerome Powell and Trump and then the final days. There's a lot of stuff happening next week, and it's going to start right tomorrow, and I want you to be prepared for it starting right now. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that everyone is going to be trying to play a publicity game of public relations starting tomorrow, and they've already started it today. And what they're going to do during that period of time is they're going to get you anxious, nervous, scared, frightful, and sometimes even worried. And what I want you to do is brush it off. I want to explain why this is happening. The reason why this is happening is that there's more than just one person saying it to another person. There's a whole balance of power that's at stake here. Nancy Pelosi is trying to get the Senate to go Democrat. Mitch McConnell is trying to keep the Senate as Republican. At the same regard, Nancy Pelosi is worried that her Democrats in the House may not be as strong going into the polls as she had thought after months of blaming Mitch McConnell for no stimulus. Mitch McConnell, on the other hand, is trying to protect his GOP members for getting themselves reelected after they have done nothing for your stimulus over recent months. And then we know the president's problems as well. So as you sit here today, everyone's going to be saying something, but it's generally not for you. And it's not there to help you either. It's only to help their pocketbooks. It's to help them get reelected, or help members of their party get reelected, or help the setup of the body in which they operate, whether it's the Senate or the House, remain the same. And so it's important to understand is brush it off. Let me explain to you why I'm even making this recording tonight before the event happens. What I've learned with the Purple Power is it's really been effective in telling you things ahead of time and for you reacting to things ahead of time. The most common example, the most obvious example of this was when the Problem Solvers bill was debuted at $1.5 trillion, and we knew that Nancy Pelosi was debuting her new bill, and we thought it was going to be about $2 trillion. It ended up being $2.2 trillion. We knew it was going to come the following week. And we said, go on social media, reject her bill. I started tweeting this an image. I said, reject Nancy Pelosi's bill. It's going to be a waste of time. You need to do a Problem Solvers bill. And remember what I said at that time? I said, you know what? When Nancy introduces her bill, she's going to say, this is the way or the highway. Everything else is bad. And guess what? I reject you. It's like a character in the Power Rangers, like the villain. I reject you. Very long. You. I reject you. And we said, no. We're going to preempt this. But we're going to reject her. We're going to say, hey, we like the Problem Solvers bill. So that crap that's coming next week from some, Temple of Doom, ignore it when it comes. We're not going to co-sign it. And guess what? Today, Lindsey Graham came out and said, I support the Problem Solvers bill. Today, all other Republicans said, I support the Problem Solvers bill. We should have been doing this Problem Solvers bill a long time ago. Do you think that came from the push of the Purple Power? I think so. Purple Power, as a result of our push, got Steve Mnuchin to say, I co-signed the Problem Solvers bill. Well, next week, you're going to see another version of this happening. And so what I want you to know is the following. I want you to be proactive and not worry about the following events. First, Nancy Pelosi today let me back up, actually. First, yesterday, as recorded on Early Mornings LA this morning, Mitch McConnell issued a statement pushing against Nancy Pelosi, saying, I'm doing 2 bills next week. Of the 2 bills, I'm not worried about the Wednesday bill. That's the $500 billion bill. I'm not worried about that. Well, the Tuesday bill is the one I'm worried about because I don't know if that's trying to take your EO executive order money. I've made a lot of videos about it. I made the video right before about that. Once we learn where that money is coming from that's in that bill, then we can just relax and understand he's not trying to take your $800 billion of executive order money, potential executive order money. Other than that, I don't care what Mitch does next week. In fact, no one cares what Mitch is doing next week. The president doesn't care. The cabinet doesn't care. Lindsey Graham doesn't care. Other Republicans don't care. No one in the Senate nor the White House cares what Mitch McConnell is doing next week. So with the exception of that EO issue, you shouldn't care either. You shouldn't care that Mitch says XYZ next week. You shouldn't. Absolutely should not care. Next, Nancy Pelosi. In response to Mitch's attacks yesterday in his press statement, she issued her own threat saying we're going to stop this, or whatever this is, in 48 hours, which is ironically the same day that Mitch introduces his bill. I got to tell you, I got DMs about her statement. I got links to her video about the statement. I got questions about her statement. Oh my God. Purple Power's not working suddenly. People, you should not be worried about Nancy Pelosi's threats. I mean, what have I taught you on this channel? Nancy Pelosi is the epitome of threatening people every step of the way. Telling people, don't come to me unless you do this. Telling me I reject the Problem Solvers bill. It's telling you that the Problem Solvers are all Republicans. Everything is a threat with her. And I've always told you, just brush it off and ignore it. That's why I called her initially the Temple of Doom, because I didn't want to even refer to her by name. It was making me agitated. So I just said, I'm just not even going to refer to her by name. So I want you, not to DM me when Nancy Pelosi says Steve Mnuchin's horrible on Monday, or DM me on Tuesday when she says Mitch is horrible. I'm doing this with Mitch. I really don't care. I mean, do you care? You should not care. What I want you to focus on is Jerome Powell tomorrow and President Trump. I don't want you to focus on anything else. I also don't want you to focus on the GOP. I went over Lindsey Graham just for the sake of saying that Lindsey Graham supports the president, but I really don't care if you hear Lamar Alexander saying President Trump's bill is horrible, or someone else saying there's a problem with Trump. Everyone's trying to get airtime to get themselves reelected. They're not trying to get you stimulus. They're trying to get themselves reelected. And so Purple Power, here is the pushes that you need to do. Here is the focus. Focus number 1, MSC, hashtag MSC. I have a series of images. I sent them out last night. I'll send them again out tonight. MSC, multiple stimulus checks. President, send out multiple stimulus checks. Executive orders, multiple stimulus checks. Send them out. It's your October surprise. It's your October surprise. You'll win the re-election of the presidency. You send out these executive order checks. It's as simple as that. We're owed it. You said we'd have it. You said you'd give it. You have the money. You have $800 billion of unaccounted for PPP money. You can reapportion it. You can repurpose it. You've done it before with LWA and FEMA's money for purposes of unemployment assistance, which is, I can't even say it with a straight face. FEMA's money became unemployment assistance. This is, that's what a president can do. Do it. Also, do it for FPUC. Next, do FPUC retroactive back to late July. What are we doing with this FPUC to September? Third, give me some hazard pay. Why am I not getting hazard pay? Now, the president may not do hazard pay by executive order, but hazard pay is a push for anything legislative. It's very simple. Get it done now. This is your October surprise. And it's as simple as that. Now, what else are you pushing? You're pushing for cease stimulus. You're making very clear to those elected officials that you're not going to vote for them because they didn't give you stimulus. Now, are those elected officials going to really do anything at all about anything before this election? At this point, it looks highly unlikely that, for example, a Democratic member of the House of Representatives will do anything for you between now and the election. You got to remember to vote against them when you go into the polling places, and you need to make sure that your friends don't vote for them as well. Next, Purple Power. I want you to remain focused to the Purple Power delegates. Purple Power delegates, whether you are one, want to be one, or you're looking for one, please try to continue to help one another. The spirit of this channel is helping one another. So if anyone needs assistance, for example, let's say finding a rent grant in Dallas, Texas, and looks for a Purple Power delegate and types in hashtag P TX space hashtag LALATE, and no one responds or can't find anyone, there is no Purple Power delegate, but can find another delegate, ask that other delegate if they can maybe help find something for you. Or if you're not even a delegate, but you're good with a computer and are good for looking up for grants for things that are new in your area, go help that person. For every breath or every moment that you have for doing a campaign for Purple Power, for pushing for executive orders, maybe take a second to make sure that someone's questions or concerns are unanswered. Also, sometimes people drop them in the comments of this channel and are asking for assistance. And with 40,000 comments in a given day, you may miss it. But ultimately, if you see it, help them as well. That's the spirit of Purple Power. Let me answer some incredible questions from last night. Trisha, just done tweeting and messaging the president. Everyone else use the hashtags. Good evening, Purple Power family. It's Rindo. Of course, Pelosi wants to lower children's checks. More money for her. Pine Mountain. Trump, please sign the EO. Wendy, they need to not get paid. Logistics. Hey, Purple Power. There needs to be a hashtag called the whole damn table. Shaw McMillan. No doubt $1,200 is too small. Larry, Donald Trump needs to tell Nancy Pelosi he wears the pants. Nancy Strickler. They need to get it together and give the people what they deserve. Rachel. Why does Nancy seem to have more power than the president? Lynn Miller. Why isn't Trump doing executive orders? Lisa. Hey, LA and Purple Power. Hey, Lisa. Robert, power of the people, sign the executive orders, Mr. President. Jacqueline, hey, Alette, you said a mouthful. We deserve a $2,000 a month stimulus check now for 6 months or till COVID-19 is over. I know it helped me with finding a place to stay. Since I don't have a home now, help us, Purple Power, please now. Amen. And if anyone can help Jacqueline Corley with grants in her area, that would be appreciated. Kay, Jazz Playlist, you're so funny and sense of humor. Well, thank you. Peggy Best Gotas, they think they have no access to the bill they write or where they're allocating these funds. They just don't know the power of the power of Purple Power. That's really well said. These politicians think we don't see their own bill. It's really weird. It's like we do have glasses or we do have a computer. If we put them on, then we see things. J.R. Streets. I would really love to see all these elected officials lose their jobs. So would we. J.R. Streets, again, if we actually do get a stimulus check, I'm going to use mine to get the hell out of this country. Marcus Reyes, it's another morning in the U.S. and I still don't have any money. Give Americans their money. Amen. Go to the Front Edge channel, subscribe. Subscribe because we are focused. And this is the Purple Power. Information, education, focus, dedication, perseverance, and helping one another. That's the spirit of Purple Power. Also like this video. See you tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for early mornings LALATE. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay about life for more.